stupid equipment thing. I was supposed to get that rune sword and... oh, that's annoying. I didn't even need the Entombed. So that's Amelia level 10. That's only just one session of the first floor of the tower, so that didn't take too long. Now I just need to quickly finish off the boss and be done with this. Okay, so I'm entering the tower again because I think I'm going to want to get Amelia up to level 5 before I start using her in main chapters. Because she's still not quite up to our level yet. So, this is Amelia's force promotion. It happens at the start of the next battle that you enter after getting her to level 10, so that can be a skirmish or the tower. So, we have Knight or we have Cavalier. Usually I always go Cavalier, but I promised that I'd show off different promotion options on the different routes, and as this is going to be the route that isn't canon, that means I have to choose the promotion options that I don't normally choose. So, unfortunately, this means I'm going to have to make her a Knight, even though I don't like this normally. I want to at least try General Amelia, even though she generally doesn't end up that good for me. Plus 2 defense, it's something, but it's not that amazing. Anyway, though, so here is level 1 Knight Amelia. Now I need to train her a little bit more, so I'll see you back here in a bit. Okay, now I've got the rune sword. You're not getting away from me this time. Welcome back to Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones. Last time, we found out that Karkino has now been taken over by the enemy, or at least they're siding with Grado, and Ainz is running right into a trap. Excellent. Also, I had an off-screen training montage for Amelia. I also got Kola Manami's B support actually, during that, so I can go ahead and show that now. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. And now he's turned tsundere. That's a notable increase of Column actually being nice compared to their C support. And now will be time for a little bit of inventory management and then going back in there. Now, there's a shop and an armory here, as we saw in the last chapter. Their stock has actually changed quite a bit since we were there, though. Actually, I might want to manage my items first, because you need to put that in the convoy. I'm only using up 21 spaces. You need to give that new men's staff to Natasha, and as far as other things, who has the new rapier, actually? Oh, yeah, Erica has it already. The Axe Reaver. Okay, this is going to seem very, very weird. I'm going to put that on Amelia. She can actually use that at the moment, unlike, I believe Tana is still at a D. Yes, she's still at a D. Actually, that pure water might not be a bad thing to hold on to. Do I have any other axes? Nope, I don't. Okay. As for Joshua, I'm actually going to trade that Iron Blade over to Franz, because his sword is about to run out. I know that Iron Blade is not the best, but it'll do. And Seth, okay, I'm going to give that Steel Sword over to, I guess, Joshua, which was actually Erica's, but I traded it over. Put this back in the convoy, and I managed to get a Rune Sword from... It is an A-rank sword, though, from the skirmishers in the Tower of Valmy there. So, this is a very, very bizarre sword. It has 12 might, but it only uses half of your strength stat and not your full one. That's because it's a magic sword, and there are no separate strength and magic stats in this game, so they had to do it that way. Oh, right, and you need to take that Thunder Tome. So, at the moment, oh, Joshua can't even use it either. Only Seth can really use it, I think. Huh, it's gonna be weird giving Seth this. It's actually a pretty valuable sword, too. But I don't really have any... I need some weak weapons for Seth. Let's see if I've got any decent weak weapons lying around on anyone I'm not using. Doesn't actually seem like it, so I'm going to... I mean, I don't really use... Might need Kyle for this chap. This is going to be kind of tough. I'm going to see if there are any cheap, weak lances Seth can... just an Iron Lance. Oh, they're selling hammers now. Might not be a bad idea to get one of those for later. Of course, if this was a GBA Fire Emblem, Seth could use that. Like I said with the Heavy Spear, we're not going to be seeing armored enemies for a while, but when we do, we might be needing that hammer. It is very, very heavy, though. 15 weight, and terrible hit rate as well. Only D rank, though, which is kind of cool. Do I need another hand axe? No, I might need another hand axe soon, but I think I'm fine for now. Also, the shop here actually sells some different stuff. They're now selling Flux for some reason, even though we can't possibly have a dark magic user at this point in the game. And they're also selling Unlock Staves, which actually does have a use in the next chapter, even though it's not really all that important. It's a kind of long-range unlocking thing. It's mainly good for extra experience on your healers. Yeah, Natasha might actually pick up a heal staff due to all the heal staff uses that I used training Amelia. And yeah, we can buy chest keys from here, so that means thieves are quite a bit less useful. Also elixirs. Actually, I forgot you could buy elixirs. They're expensive, but that's actually pretty cool. Oh, by the way, not the shop. There's something funny that I wanted to do with Amelia. Here you go. Here's the torch you dropped. Just hang on to that, and don't drop it again. So I think that's all the inventory management that I'll be doing here. Might not be a bad idea to grab some extra swords, though. Okay, Kyle. You're gonna go ahead and buy a steel sword. It's actually not for Kyle, but I'll put that on him for now. Anyway, time to head out to Terra's Plateau. Which, weirdly enough, is actually another one of these dot locations, but it's actually a main city. And, bizarrely enough, Ainz is still blue here, even though that's going to change once we hit the actual chapter. This is actually really weird. So, he's being trapped forward and back, and yet we can still get in there just fine. Well, I guess that's actually what we're trying to do. The enemies that are trapping his way back are the ones we're going to be fighting. And chapter starts pretty quickly. I quite like this chapter. It is a pretty long and big map, but the story elements of it, and there's an enormous number of recruits as well. Yeah, it is going to be Bio City now. So Glenn's already back. So apparently Erica's the leader of a rebel army in Carquino now. Yeah, that's totally believable. Yeah, because we totally massacred innocent civilians in the last chapter. And hey, it's this guy again. Unfortunately, this guy's staying here for now. Why do you think the land is ruined to begin with? Yeah, so Glenn still has his doubts. And this is a bit of an interesting thing to hear. He's actually known Erica from earlier. Unfortunately, his emperor's ordered him to do it. And now he's speaking nothing but falsehoods. Unfortunately, look who's here to ruin the show. Well, it's probably a good thing that he entrusted that honor to Glenn and not this guy. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, why exactly did His Majesty appoint you? That's something that we'll probably find out later. Yeah, Volta is that one guy on the enemy side who even his own side despises. Unfortunately, they can't do anything about it right now. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, we have this guy! I have been looking forward to seeing this guy for a long time. I can't actually talk about him yet, though, but he's amazing. He is absolutely amazing. One of my favorite characters in this game. So it seems like Ainz has a band of mercenaries traveling with him. And, explaining stuff that he already knows, but the audience doesn't. So this is Gerik, and he is amazing. Yeah, he's kind of stuck at this point. I'm kind of surprised that messenger made it out. No help from them, but the messenger may have met some other people who can help you. Okay then. Yeah, you're thinking a little highly of yourself there. But now it's all about surviving. And hey, I think we've seen this girl before, haven't we? Back in Chapter 5. Oh, it's always a horrible thing when that happens. Well, that's not good. Good thing I bought an extra steel sword, hint hint. Yep, they're coming at them again. So we better get to him quickly. I don't really fancy their chances if they flee. But I kind of see what he's going for here. I know you don't really mean that. You're just being sincere about it. You want them to survive. Yeah. Well, that hope isn't false now. Now you're starting to sound like Eustace. Actually, it kind of looks similar to him, too, now that I think about it. Well, that had the exact opposite effect that he intended. About that, Huh, Ewan and Marissa. Haven't heard either of those names. Okay, this is a great line coming up right here. Yeah, he already fired them, so technically speaking, all of his orders are invalid now. So, they're staying of their own free will. So, these guys are all pretty suicidally stupid, but that's why I like them. But, yeah, we need a good plan to get them out alive. Oh, he's supposed to be a good tactician. Oh, great. Well, unfortunately... Oh, yeah, you say that now. And here we are. The cavalry has arrived. It's kind of interesting. It seems like the first people in your unit slot show up there, so Amelia appeared. Yeah, he won't be able to hold out much longer, so let's go for it. But like I said, brilliant tactician, huh? Unfortunately, he's an NPC, and you know what that means? Yeah. We must save these three from their own stupidity. Their AI isn't actually that terrible, but it can be irritating sometimes. So, we have Ainz here. He is a sniper and he's pretty capable of handling himself. Tethys, not so much. Thankfully, the others do like to protect her. And then we have this guy. Yeah, he is amazing. He is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'll talk more about him later. So, we have a pretty large map here with some wide open plains. Huh, I thought I saw a unique portrait there. We'll get to that later. We also have this guy, Pablo. The guy who's taken over this place at the moment. Interestingly, he's a light magic specializing sage boss, which is kind of unique. So that's pretty cool. His stats are also pretty high, but anyway. Yeah, we've got more stealable items here. Even more annoyingly, one of them belongs to a reinforcement in this chapter, so that's annoying. But we've got two ballistas here, which actually aren't going to be much of a threat at this point. Another myrmidon down there. This guy has a droppable lance reefer, which is kind of cool. That guy's a door key, so the unlock staff isn't really all that essential. These are the enemies we'll have to worry about right from the beginning. This guy, actually, he usually dies. It's this guy I need to worry about, because he likes to make a break for that ballista down there. Okay, let's just quickly cycle through everyone and see if there are any other unique things that I need to be concerned with. Ah, right, this guy. This guy! Thankfully, you can bait him into using his hand axe so that he always drops the killer axe, because you want that, especially if you're using Ross. More soldiers. Oh, hi there! Ha, Marissa! That name sounds familiar, doesn't it? And an enemy with a unique portrait, obviously that means something. She's actually a little tricky to get to, though. Oh, no thanks to this guy. This guy! This guy! Our first instance of status starves. I hate status starves so much. They are incredibly irritating. So yeah, that green range is very, very bad for you. Don't go into his green range. I think that should be most of the enemies here. The Myrmidons here are kind of silly, and they all have really weak weapons. This guy's got a sling sword. And there are these guys. So remember this description? Yeah, I get that. I think that this was a mistake earlier in the game. They referred to them as bandits who lay claim to the Carquino territories. Because that was back in Chapter 5. We weren't anywhere near Carquino. But yeah, they were reusing the description from here. Also, the mercenaries have now changed to sellswords, and they're now specifically identified as being in Pablo's employ, so that's kind of interesting. So let's pick our deployment slots. So, I'm obviously going to want Natasha. Actually, I might want Naomi here. There are ballistas. Not you though. I am going to need Colum, unfortunately. You're going to need Ross, Franz, Joshua, and there's no one else left here. I've got Kyle. Kyle might be useful. See, this is a problem. Vanessa might not be that bad either here, but kind of want to bring Naomi here just for certain reasons, namely ballistas. So, formation time. let's see who goes on the front line. We'll be facing a couple of sword users, mages, which actually have a pretty far attack range, and an axe user. So, I kind of like to have Josh on the front lines here, Franz as well. Kyle, I'm going to need Ross eventually. Colin will actually stay back. And Amelia will stay as far forward as she can because of her stupid movement. Actually, speaking of as far forward as possible. Although, there is an archer down here, which means that she actually can't go that far to start with. I suppose you can start further back. Won't be needing Colin for a while, so I guess I can safely put him further back. Okay, this should be good. And I think I might go ahead and save here, because this has been a pretty long preparation session. Okay, let's go. Thing is, we're actually not done with cutscenes. We'll be having one at the end of the first turn regardless. Okay, this is another one of those situations where I actually don't want to kill too many things. I think I can afford to advance this far. And this music is still great. Oh, that's going to lower your avoid. Yeah, I'm going to do that for now. Then position you back here. Don't equip Hellfire, that's probably a bad idea. This ballista can sometimes get you from back here, but not always. There are many spaces that it can reach. Should I do that, or... yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Once I break this initial set of enemies, I'm going to have to be splitting my force into the people who are going to go to where Irons is, and the people who are going to just stay around here and fight against the onslaught of enemies in this little region here. So yeah, Tana is actually kind of important in this chapter, because she can recruit him, obviously, given that he's her brother, but you don't have to bring her. You can also recruit him with Erica. Okay, actually got to be careful there. That fighter can potentially attack her if she goes down too far. And you might think that she makes recruiting him very easy, but you'll see something that happens a bit later on that's kind of hilarious and a bit stupid. Okay, where should Erica go? I guess I can do a support between Erica and Seth now, which I have been grinding for during... I didn't get Erica any more experience, but I did just leave her next to Seth while I was doing Amelia's training. I think his injury is long since healed now, though. Oh, and he's saying that already. Yeah, he has to put on a brave face and endure this pain. Just to do his job as a knight, basically. Yes, you're quite right there, Erica. And I don't think anyone can praise Seth too much. So yeah, like I said, cutscene. I don't know why, but I can picture this guy having a really over-the-top, terrible Italian accent. And so they're going to go straight for them. And they immediately plan to kill the elders as well. Yeah, this is obviously going to end badly for your country if he goes through with this. Unfortunately, the elder can't really do much, because if he does reveal himself, as you heard there, Pablo plans to have him killed. So we're stuck doing the heavy lifting, basically. What is it with my luck in this playthrough? Okay, that's one of the rare occasions you can double with a weapon that's about to break, so I guess we showed that. But yeah, my luck has been pretty bizarre. And hello there, Sellsword. I can't think of that term without thinking of Gregor now. Well, I guess these guys are of the same class as him. 4 mercenaries. Well, I need to break through these guys pretty quickly. Thankfully, we are able to do that, because you get a lot of deployment options in this chapter. Hello there, stupid mage. Thankfully, Joshua is going to be fine. But I will need to heal him, most likely, after this. Yep, both of the mages are going for him. And both hits. That's annoying. But Joshua has pretty great HP, so he can kind of take it. And then these stupid bandits who just, And this guy is even stupider, because, yeah, look at that combat forecast. Oh, and there's the most useless skill in the game, triggering. Yeah, I love that. And that archer is actually going to be smart and not kill himself. These bandits will keep spawning for a while, but because of the mountain movement reduction, it's going to take them a long time to reach the fray. So you don't need to worry about them that much yet. The ones with hand axes can be a bit irritating, though. Speaking of irritating, this archer right here. Yeah, he knows that he is deterring Tana from approaching her brother. So he's just staying there and not getting himself shot. That's unfortunate. If only she could double with the steel. That guy doesn't one-shot her, though. Huh. Leaving Tana in range of archer strats? Does he have a critical rate at all? No? Okay, then. Kind of bizarre, but, okay, she does have a vulnerary. So, this is actually going to seem incredibly weird, but, actually from there, let's... Yeah, I might be able to get to him. So, the walls around the fortress where Ainz is holed up in. It's very, very weird. Those are Pegasus-proof walls. I don't know how it's possible, but Pegasus Knights can't fly over them. They are completely impassable to any type of unit at all. It's really, really bizarre, but that's just how it is. Okay, thankfully Luke can finish this guy off. Hopefully. Okay, good. She didn't fail me there. So, I'm going to use my lower movement characters to get a lot of the kills here, so that my higher movement ones can make a break straight through after we're done with them. So, speaking of lower movement, Amelia. That gone. Like I said, more lower movements. Do have to be careful of these mages here. Huh, Erica can actually kill you exactly. You know, that's probably due to... I think she's just barely in Seth's support range. I think that's why she's doing this much damage. Because his anima affinity is pretty decent. Kind of annoyed that I haven't got her and Seth up to a C before. You can potentially get them to a C far, far earlier. As you can tell by the subject matter of that conversation, you're meant to get them to a C much earlier in the game. But, let's see. That was not meant to be a pun. Do not take it as one. Oh, you get doubled. Yeah, that is a terrible hit rate. I'm not going to risk that. That is a shame. I also definitely need to heal Joshua. And what was I saying? Yeah, high movement characters need to make a break for it at this point. They're doubling, they're only doing 1 damage. Let's go for that. Good, that didn't miss. With my luck so far, I was feeling like it would. Yeah, Kyle's speed is definitely letting him down at this point. Everyone here that Ross can fight, he's not going to fight very well. 61 is not awful, but it is not the best. Let me just check something. Okay, this is the Killer Axe guy. Like I said, we want to make sure that we lure him into using his hand axe. Oh, you need a critical to kill that guy. That's unfortunate. I'm going to have to settle for fighting you. Actually, I probably should have healed him first. That was... And you got a critical anyway, of course you did. That was actually pretty dumb, because... Unless I block off... Actually, she's not even in range. Worst comes to worst, I may even have to rescue Joshua this turn. Because I don't... Can I kill that guy? Maybe. Wow, even Seth can't really do it. Yeah, the Rune Sword is one of the few 1 to 2 range options that you have on sword users. 16 attack, 7 defense. I don't think you're going to be able to do it. 7, That's 9 damage, that's not enough. And you're definitely not going to double that guy, so... Unless support bonus. Support bonus might actually be enough to do it now that I think about it. Although, meanwhile, Franz... Oh, hey, Franz can just kill this guy. Hopefully. I don't want to speak too soon. But hopefully Franz will be able to kill this guy. This chapter actually is a bit of a difficulty spike. I've had failures here before. Especially when it comes to the sheer number of recruitments that you have to do. And the fact that the enemy... Well, not the enemy. The game is a major jerk at one point. 7 damage. Okay, then. Let's try something. Support bonus. Let's see if this does enough. Not enough. Okay. That is annoying. Well, she leveled up. Despite being a member of my B team. That still wouldn't have been enough, even with that extra strength. I'd probably rather go for the safer option here. I just can't risk Joshua dying, so let's break the Slim Lance. I was hoping it'd be a crit. I was hoping. I just had this weird thought where it's like... I thought there was one game in the series where the last use of a weapon had a higher crit rate, but no, I think that was FE4, where the last use of a staff had double the healing, but only for certain staffs, only for heal and mend, nothing higher. Okay, please tell me that nobody's in range of Joshua. This is where an option to lock in all attack ranges would be excellent at this point. Make sure that hammer isn't equipped, otherwise that'd be a disaster. We're a little slow here, but Tana is moving pretty quickly. Unfortunately, enemies are approaching, and that means Irons' NPC squad are going to be stupid and charge right into them. I should also mention the group of enemies that are down there with Marissa. They're actually triggered to move by approaching a certain staircase on this map. Garrick is amazing, but I don't want him to be fighting too much when he's not on my side. Obviously, he's not getting experience that way. And Irons is also pretty amazing at this point. He pretty much slaughters everything he fights. Though, you do need to worry about him getting mobbed by enemies. And unfortunately, Tethys just doesn't want to dance while she's an NPC. Huh. Does this guy not move at all? Wow, he's got a Pegasus Knight right in his range, and he's not doing anything? That is really bizarre. I've never noticed that before. This guy must be programmed to never move. That is, wow, like I said, incredibly bizarre. But I can safely do this now. Like I said, Erica could do this as well. So, rescue operation, well, I don't want to say it's successful just yet, because these three could still die. I mean, technically speaking, Irons can't die because he has plot armor, but he's still not usable if you lose him. And obviously, yeah, he doesn't know that she left the castle without permission. Hey, but Tana's pretty good at being a soldier. Yeah, she wants to do her part. So, we have Irons on our side now. The Prince of Freylia. That's a pretty apt description, actually. Irons, Ines, however you want to pronounce it, continues the trend of pre-promotes in this game being pretty good. He's got decent base stats, especially pretty good speed, and pretty good growths as well. On top of that, he starts out with an A rank in bows and has a silver bow right off the bat, though be warned that it's probably going to be very worn out after this chapter, seeing as it's the only weapon that he starts with. If you want an archer who's less maintenance than Naomi, Irons is a very good option. He will end up worse than her at the very end though. And he's also somewhat let down by the fact that he can't be a ranger, which is, let's be honest, objectively superior to sniper in this game. Yep, that means Irons is still stuck with the spectacularly useless Sure Strike skill. Really, not much else to say, except that if you are going to be using Irons, you want to be on Erica's route. He joins much later on Ephraim's. Irons got quite a few buffs in the English version, all of them focused on HP. He got +3 to his HP base, which helps him survive until you get to him in this chapter, and gained a pretty major increase of +15 to his HP growth, putting it from 60 to 75%. And yeah, any times they've used their weapons as NPCs do carry over now. It's not like they get everything repaired, so that is another problem. So, after Irons is recruited, he can recruit either Garrick or Tethys, and they can then in turn recruit the other one. So that's pretty much how it goes, it's a chain. So, Irons is going to go ahead and, this is actually pretty annoying, because I'd like Garrick to fight that guy, but if I want him to recruit Tethys, and I definitely want Tethys pretty much now. Anyway, let's do this. Gerik barely did anything, but he is still amazing, so I won't negate that compliment. So, we now have Gerik, a mercenary leader from Johanna. He is my favorite Ogma archetype character in the entire series. As you can probably tell, I've been waiting to get to this guy for a long time. Another good thing about Erica's route, this guy also joins much later on Ephraim's. But this is Garrick. It's a little late to be getting a mercenary. Now, originally you were planned to get a mercenary much earlier, but I'll talk about that later. But Garrick is pretty typical of a mercenary. Solid base stats, solid growths, generally good, reliable all-round all throughout the game. He's mostly centered around strength and HP. His defense growth of 35% is actually pretty decent for a sword user. Combined with being tied with many people at the highest human HP growth in the game, makes Gerik both durable and fast. Sure, his speed growth is a little unreliable, but his base in that department is pretty high, so you don't need to worry that much about him getting screwed over. One other thing that helps his speed, though, is he has some of the highest constitution in the game. I've said earlier that there's really only one sword user who can actually use blades well, and that's this guy. Gerik hits hard, he's fast, durable, there's just so much going for this guy. Oh yeah, and he also joins with a hero's crest already in his inventory, so you're already set for promotion items. In fact, you can promote him right now if you wanted to. Gerik got a very interesting, but also very awesome buff in the English version. He was the only character, I'm pretty sure he was the only character, to actually get a buff to his con. And it went up from 11 to 13. 13 con on an unpromoted character is kind of ridiculous. This means Gerik will almost never suffer a speed reduction from any kind of sword, really. And it only gets better once he promotes. Garrick's promotion options, and being the only unpromoted mercenary we get is the only time we'll actually see this kind of split, are Hero and Ranger. Yeah, this is where mercenaries having Bow Knight as a promotion in the later games originated. Interesting fact is that the Ranger class in this game was called Forest Knight in Japanese. This was a class that appeared in Fire Emblem 4 and was essentially a mounted hero, which might be why it's a mercenary promotion in this game. Anyway, sadly neither of Gerik's options have a strength cap above 25, he has the potential to go far higher than that. It doesn't really matter though, Gerik is still ridiculously strong. Here's another weird case like Natasha, where we have a choice between a foot class and a mounted class, and normally I'd always choose the mounted option, but I've never promoted Gerik to Ranger personally. I mean, in theory he's still decent as a Ranger, but it just feels wrong to me not making him a hero. Bizarrely, Ranger actually gives more of an increase to defense, but Hero gives more speed, which, for someone like Garrick with only a 30% speed growth, those extra points are definitely helpful. The real reason I like Hero for Gerik so much though, access to axes and +2 con. Putting him up at 15 constitution, I find that Hero Gerik is a better axe user than most of this game's actual axe users. There are very few axes that he doesn't get weighed down by, and starting out at a D rank right off the bat, that surprisingly gives you access to a lot of axes. You can use iron, steel, and hand axes all at an E rank. And Garrick doesn't get slowed down by any of those. The D rank lets him use halberds and hammers as well, so he can tear apart things weak to those weapons. Like I said, I have no real frame of reference here because I've never made Garrick a ranger before, but I do feel like it's a bit of a waste of his high constitution to not make him a hero. So, now Garrick can go ahead and recruit Tethys, and I'm annoyed that I didn't do this, because if Tethys is the one to recruit Garrick, she actually has a pretty funny conversation. Yeah, that's actually pretty annoying. So, if Tethys is the one to recruit Garrick, then I might show this, like, go back and reload a save and show that, because I quite like the conversation. It also hints at something as well. But, we have Tethys. Yes, Tethys is a dancer. I'll just get Tethys' stats out of the way first, because they don't really matter all that much. Tethys has some of the most absurd growth rates in the game in speed, luck, and resistance, and pretty decent HP as well. The issue is that only having 20 levels to go through and starting with pretty low base stats means her stats are not really going to be that high overall. It's a shame her base resistance isn't that good, because with a growth like that, she could have been quite a nice magical tank. I guess Tethys can sort of dodge tank things if you get her up to a really high level, but it's not really all that important. Because Tethys shouldn't be getting attacked in the first place. If you let her get attacked, you're probably doing something wrong. So what does she do? Well, Tethys is a dancer. Tethys is the first dancer I've shown on this channel who can't fight at all. Well, not without glitches anyway. Amusingly, it's still possible for her to gain strength and skill, even though those stats are useless to her. But yeah, she can't fight. Instead, she can dance for other characters and let them move twice in one turn. Dancers are very useful to have around for this reason. They let anyone else in your army double their productivity for a single turn, and they've got a lot of different uses. You can move further, take out multiple enemies, rescue someone, drop them off, and then let the dropped off character move, get people out of bad situations at the last minute, letting staff users heal multiple people in a single turn, opening multiple chests with a thief. The possibilities are endless. She gets 10 experience per dance, so she's not likely to be leveling up very much, but like I said, her stats don't really matter. Dances are just nice to have around. This is also why I find Erica's route both easier and better for character joins, because like the others, you don't get Teddies on Ephraim's route for much longer. So, I've kind of got two options, actually. Right. I only really have one option. Actually, I do have two options. So, either I dance for Garrick and Garrick plugs this gap and fights that guy, or I dance for Tana and Tana kills that archer. Because if I do neither, then Tana might die if this guy decides to move, because he'll shoot her and then the soldier will finish her off. So, Garrick, 5 movement. Yeah, Garrick should be able to plug that hole. It's just whether I do that Tana or not. Yeah, let's go ahead and plug the hole with Garrick. Also, we get to see the dance animation. There's just something about this dance music and animation that's just... When I first played this game, so the previous game in the series was Blazing Sword, and do you have a vulnerary? I wonder if you should even use that yet or not. I'm gonna just leave you to attack on the enemy phase, actually. But... like I said, so when I first played this game, the previous game was FE7, where we had Ninian as our dancer. Now, Ninian is a very different character to Tethys. Very, very different. And her dance song is also very different. So I expected kind of something like that, and then we get to Teddy's and it's like, wow, really upbeat Arabian sounding music? It was pretty unique, and I like that. However, I will be leaving Teddy's animations on for this chapter. But, remember how I said earlier in the series, I'm going to be making one exception to the no turning off animations rule? That's going to be for Teddy's. The thing is, the dance animations in this game, they go on for a really long time. Teddy's going to be dancing a lot, and it's going to waste a ton of time for animations are on. You can turn animations on or off for individual characters, and I'm going to be turning off animations for Teddy's. Just because, yeah, they take a while, and, we got that killer axe. So, this guy right here. Slim Sword. He does have a little bit of a crit rate behind him. Let's just do a bit of chip damage. Actually, this is a bit more than chip damage. Ah! Whoa! Whoa! Really? What is with the RNG when I'm playing this game? I normally don't have this bad luck, but, it's like this game has turned into FE6 or something. Okay, now usually I have Kyle go down to support Irons and Garrick in his group, but I could have Kyle stay here and use Franz for that. This guy isn't even on a mountain! What is going on? Well, he's completely stuck, but, you still have a javelin, right? Okay, you do. So, I suppose I could try something. Oh, okay, Luke can reach. Alright, so my only option is to... that's... annoying. Okay, I have to move Franz here, then, if I want to use that javelin. This could miss too. What is my luck? Seriously, what? Ah! Okay, at least one of them hit. If that had missed, I would have been really mad. Okay, I've had to use far more people in this front than I've wanted to. I'm gonna have Ross go down to support the lower group, though. Reason being is that there are gonna be some reinforcements down there that I kinda want him on hand for. Got a couple of mercenaries down there, though. These might not be bad for Amelia to fight, actually. And Colin just needs to stay out of reach and protected. I suppose Erica can go around here. And yes, so this group is now going to move. So here's where the problem begins. So they're going straight towards Ainz' group. And this guy's going to drop a pretty blatant hint. Crimson Flash of Garrick's mercenaries. And you remember them mentioning the name Marissa before. It should be very obvious how you recruit her.